Welcome to today's biology class, and I hope you can get to see the board. Hope you can get to see the board, and we are going to be talking about a very important aspect of biology today. We are going to be talking about a very aspect of biology today, which is concerning JAMB for 2026 students. So if you are preparing to write JAMB for 2026, this live stream is made for you. If you are not writing JAMB 2026 and you have a sibling who is preparing or who is planning to write JAMB for 2026, then this live stream section is also for them, because this live stream section promises to be very interesting, and it also promises to be very helpful. So basically, all what we are going to be talking about, we are going to be using the JAMB biology syllabus. And you can see here on the board, we are going to be following this syllabus, although I have made a video concerning this syllabus, which I will be dropping soon, I believe on Friday. That video will be dropping soon on Friday this week. Talking about the JAMB syllabus. You understand? So we are going to be talking about the JAMB syllabus and how you can actually score high when it comes to JAMB 2026. JAMB 2026 is already here, although it seems so far April, May. It seems so far, but if you are someone who is actually wishing to score high in JAMB, then you know that JAMB is not that far from now. JAMB is not far from you again, and that is why it is very important that you take cognizance of what I am going to be teaching today, or what I will be talking about today. So the first topic, if you check your JAMB biology syllabus, is the variety of organisms. The variety of organisms. So under the variety of organisms, which is section A, because the JAMB biology syllabus, although I made a video about it, is divided into 5 sections: A, B, C, D, E. But for the A section, very first thing you're supposed to do is the variety of organisms. So we are going to be saying variety of organisms. So we are going to be saying variety of organisms. And when it comes under the variety of organisms, you are going, or you are supposed to know about living organisms, everything about living organisms, cell structures and functions of cell components, self structures and functions of cell components, and also the level of organization, which is we'll be talking about in this video. So without wasting much time, we are going to be going straight to the point, and we are going to be discussing the very first topic when it comes to JAMB biology 2026, or if you are preparing to score very high in JAMB biology. And as my student, I expect my student to score 320 and above, because that is my operation 320 and above. Now coming and talking about variety of organisms, it is already known, or it's already expected that you know the meaning of biology. It's already expected that you as an individual, you know the meaning of biology. And we know that biology from 2 root words. Biology is gotten from 2 root words. Please, if you are joining my live stream, please just comment so that I will know you are following me. Biology as a science is gotten from 2 root words, which is bio and logy. You have got to know about analogy, physiological, anything that involves logy at the end. I believe this is a Greek word. So bio here means life. Please understand this. Bio means life and logy means study. Excuse me. So biology as a science is the study of life. And when we say is the study of life, we are going to be opening a bracket to say it is a study of life. Open living organisms. It's a study of what? Living organisms. And now biology is divided into 2 sections. The study of biology is divided into 2 sections, where we have the plant biology and where we also have the animal biology. So we have the plant biology. The plant biology, that is plant biology. The study of plant biology is known as botany. That is the study of plant biology. And the study of animal biology is what is known as zoology. So the study of animal biology is what is known as zoology. So these are the two branches of biology that you are supposed to know as a biology student. I hope you are following the class. So these are the two branches of biology you are supposed to know as a student. Plant biology, which is botany, and the animal biology, which is what, zoology. So if we want to continue moving ahead, we are going to be talking about what are the characteristics. You have said, okay, variety of organisms. You are giving us the meaning of biology, which is the study of life, living organisms. So how can I know that this particular thing is a what, living organism? How can how can I identify a living organism? What are the characteristics of what, living organisms? The characteristics of living organisms is simple, right? So for me, I like giving it a mnemonic, which is what, Mr. Niger D. Although some people also use what, Mr. Neck. So we are going to be saying Mr. Niger, Mr. Niger D. So this is Mr. Niger D. So M here is what, movement. M here stands for what, movement. So the first characteristics of a living organism is what, movement. Every living organism move. So that is the very first characteristic of every living organism. All living organisms must what, move from one place to what, the other. Now someone will say, can't plants move? Yes, plants what, move with respect to what, sensitivity, although we are going to be talking about it later. Plant move what, in response to what, stimuli. Plant move in response to the what, the presence of what, sunlight. Although we'll be talking about this in the course of the class, so you can understand the movement of what, plants. Plant does not move as human, or it does not move as animals, but plants surely what, move because they are living. We also have what, respiration. We also have what, respiration. After respiration, the next on the list is what, nutrition. So we have what, nutrition, which is basically for what, energy. We also have what, I, which is what, irritability. We have I, which is what, irritability. We have G, which is what, growth. Every living thing must what, grow. We have E, which is what, excretion. We have E, which is what, excretion. We have R, which is what, reproduction. We have I, which is reproduction, and we have D, which is what, death, because every living thing will surely experience this what, death. So this is the characteristics of what, living organisms. These are the characteristics of what, living organisms. So now, if we know the characteristics of living organisms, it is in the same vein we can say we know the characteristics of non-living things, because if living things exhibit all these characters, then non-living things will not exhibit this word character. Now there's a particular question that is always asked in JAMB. There's a particular question that's always asked in JAMB. Is virus a living or a non-living thing? Please, if you are following me up, pay attention to this particular aspect or this particular stuff I'm about to say. Is virus living or non-living? I hope my board is not reflecting. Yep, I hope it's not that reflecting. All right. So the question is virus living or non-living? This question is very, very essential. Now, virus is considered non-living. Virus is considered a non-living thing. Virus is considered what, a non-living one thing, because if a virus is what, not in the body of a suitable host, if a virus is not in the body of a suitable host, it becomes a non-living thing. That is why viruses are considered as what, non-living. It is a very, very important. This is always a JAMB question. This is always a JAMB question that has been coming out. Is virus considered a non-living? Is virus considered a living thing? Or they will just give you options like that, but just know that virus is non-living because they cannot what, live outside the body of what, a suitable what, host. So the next thing we are supposed to talk about is what, cell structures and functions of what, cell what, components. Cell structures and cell structures and functions of what cell component. But before we talk about cell structure and function of cell component, I'm so sorry, the network is very bad. My network is bad, but I hope you are following, right? All right, so let's continue. Look. All right, so let's continue. Hope you can see the board. So as we were talking, we said we are going to be talking about cell structures and functions of cell components. Although we are not going to be drawing much time based on cell structures and cell components. Now, before we talk about cell structures and functions of these cell components, it is very important to know the two types of cells. It is important to understand or to know the two types of what cells. They are basically two types of cell, just like I have said. We have, so let me clean the board and write. We have two types of cell. So they are basically two types of cell. We have the word prokaryotic cells. So we have types of cells. We have types of cells. We have number one, which is the word the prokaryotic cells. We have the prokaryotic, and number two, we have the word eukaryotic. We have the prokaryotic cells and the word eukaryotic word cells. These are basically the two types of what cells. Now the question is, what is what a prokaryotic what cell? A prokaryotic cell is a type of cell that lacks a membrane bound nucleus. Prokaryotic cells, so we are going to say prokaryotic cells lack a membrane bound lacks a membrane bound nucleus. So they lack a membrane bound nucleus. So that is what prokaryotic cell is all about. They lack a membrane bound nucleus. That is prokaryotic cell. Then eukaryotic cell is simply the opposite of the word prokaryotic cells. If the word prokaryotic cells lack a membrane bound nucleus, the eukaryotic cells have a membrane bound nucleus. So the prokaryotic cells is a direct opposite of the word eukaryotic cells. So that is the two types of cell that you are supposed to know. So we move ahead to talk about the various cell structures, although we are not also going to dwell much on the various cell structures. So we first of all we know about the word protoplasm, the living unit of the cell. The living unit of the cell. Please take note. The living unit of the cell is the word the protoplasm. So we have the word protoplasm. The protoplasm is the living unit of the cell, and the protoplasm is made up of what? The nucleus. It's made of the nucleus plus cytoplasm. So please take note. The protoplasm is a living unit of the cell and is made up of the nucleus and the word cytoplasm. Now, we know that the nucleus houses the genetic integrity of the cell. So the nucleus here, please don't forget it. The nucleus houses genetic integrity of the cells. Houses the genetic integrity of what the cells. We also have the mitochondria. We have the word mitochondria, and we know that the mitochondria is simply what the powerhouse of the cell. It is a site of what ATP. So it says mitochondria Mitochondria. Mitochondria is a what? Powerhouse of the word cell. Is a powerhouse of the word cell. It is a site. It is. It is the site of what? ATP production. It is a site of what? ATP what? Production. Please understand this because I'm just trying to see how we can give key points based on all these things. So we say that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Please take note of that. And it is a site of what? ATP what? Production. We also have the centrioles. The centrioles. So let me clean this. Please support me by clicking on the red subscribe button. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share these videos to your friends. When you subscribe like this, I feel get motivated to continue dropping videos like this, to continue doing what I love doing. So please, I beg of you, please and please just help me share my YouTube channel, subscribe, tell your friends about my YouTube channel so that we can grow together. So we talk about the centrioles. So we are talking about these cell organelles, the centrioles. We know that the centrioles is basically there for cell divisions. And we have two types of what cell division. We have the word meiosis and the word mitosis. We have the meiosis and we have the word mitosis. Also, we have the word ribosomes. The ribosomes is a site for what, or is responsible for protein what synthesis. For breaking down what proteins. So we are going to be saying ribosomes. We are going to be saying ribosomes responsible for protein synthesis. Responsible for protein what? Synthesis. And when we talk about it's responsible for what? Protein what? Synthesis. The next one also. Wow, thank you, Shallow the Amateur. Shallow the Amateur. Thank you so much for commenting. Thank you so much. Please help subscribe to my YouTube channel and also help share my videos to your friends so they can come here also and get the value. I really appreciate you. So we have the word ribosomes, which is responsible for protein word synthesis. We also have the lysosomes. I'm just trying to see how I can give you key points based on this particular topic. And if you're preparing to write JAMB 2026 and you're wishing to score as high as 320, then this channel is made for you because I will be dropping back-to-back videos, helpful videos. We are going to be making sure we trash everything when it comes to biology syllabus. Yes, trust me, we are going to be trashing everything when it comes to the syllabus up to evolution, where we are going to be talking about the Lamarckism theory and also the Darwinism theory. Believe me, it's going to be very, very interesting. Wow. Thank you, bro. So we are going to be treating everything when it comes to biology, internal structure of plants. We are going to be talking about heredity and variation. We are also going to be talking about evolution, which is the different theories of evolution, mutation, and the evidences of what evolution. So we are going to be treating all that, but we are going to be taking it step by step so that when you follow up our videos, you are going to be able to understand. And apart from biology, we are also going to be doing chemistry. So this channel is basically for students, but it's basically for growth, academic growth. You can also apply this for university because I also shoot university videos. So the lysosomes is known as the suicide back of the cell. It's known as what? The suicide back of the cell. Suicide back of the cell. So the lysosomes is responsible for what? Breaking down dead cells so that they will not what? Accumulate. You understand? So it helps break down this what? Dead cells. That is the basic function of the what? The lysosomes. We also have a lot of them. We have the what? The Golgi what? Apparatus. We have the what? Golgi what? Apparatus. We have the Golgi apparatus. So this Golgi apparatus is responsible for synthesizing and packaging. So it's responsible for synthesizing and packaging. You understand? So the one that is responsible to synthesize also just like the ribosomes and packaging. Okay, how often are you live? So for now, I don't I don't know where you're from, but I'm a Nigerian. So most of the time, sometimes I might not be chance to come live. Sometimes I might want to come live, but I don't have data to come live, stuff like that. So I don't really know. Like, I don't really have what a schedule, but I'm trying to see I can get a schedule that okay, every so time by this time I'm supposed to be live and stuff like that. But I like I always come live, but I don't have like a specific time based on the fact that unforeseen circumstances, data to the money to buy data, I might not be chance, I might not be home and stuff like that. But for if I'm not live, I'll make sure I make a video which I can drop, you understand, so that my students can also was follow up. So these are the basic what cell organelles that you are supposed to follow. But now when we talk about organelles, a lot of students know all of this, but they don't know, you understand, they know about organelles that they help plants, you understand, they help plants and animals, but they don't know what organelle is what all about, you understand. So they don't know what organelles is all about. Organelles are simply what structures and chemicals. So say structures and chemicals that aids organisms that aids organisms that aid organisms perform their functions, perform their what functions. Structures and chemicals that aid organisms perform their functions are known as what organelles. So structures and chemicals that helps any organism, be it plants, be it what animals, to perform their function, that is what is known as what organelles. Mamaka is going faint and faint and faint. You understand? So that is basically how it is. So we have talked about this yeah, the structure of plant and animal cells. Blessed, we say finally, have you been a subscriber? Blessed, have you been a subscriber? I've been dropping videos now. I've been trying to see, although I'll be making videos, some of them are yet to drop, but by Friday, that's why I just started today. They are going to start seeing our videos back to back. You understand? So, although there's also a difference between plant and animal cells, understand, when it comes to their structures, when it comes to the structure of our plant and animal cell. When it comes to the structure of the plant and animal cell, the plant cell structure, or the plant cell has what a rigid cell wall structure. So when you see something like this, when you start seeing something like this, or that I cannot draw, but when you start seeing something like this, when you start seeing something like this, yeah, when you start seeing something like this, and stuff, we automatically know that this is going, okay, DNA. Oh my goodness. Shallow the amateur, are you from Nigeria? Are you a Nigerian student? You can chat me up on WhatsApp. I can really explain it there for you on WhatsApp if is that really important. Chat me on WhatsApp, Shallow the amateur, so I can get to talk about that for you on WhatsApp. Then I might make a video for it, because I don't want to really, since I've already structured this video that I'm going to talk about the variety of organisms, let it just be that okay, we are moving ahead with variety of organisms. You understand? But chat me up on WhatsApp. I will make an explanation for you. At least I believe it's going to help you. So this is the structure of what a plant cell. Now this is the structure of a plant cell, and we already know that a plant cell has what a rigid what shape. So this shape here is very what rigid, and they have a cell wall. They have a cell wall, and they have a what a large central vacuole. So they have a large central what vacuole, and they have their what mitochondria. They have their what their mitochondria and the rest. You understand? So although, like I said, there are differences between plant and what animal what cells. So if the plant cells have a rigid cell structure, the animal cell is not what rigid. The animal cell is not what rigid, and the animal cell also does not have what a large central vacuole. So the vacuole is not that large like the plant what cell. Not that large like the what plant cell. All right, so let's move ahead. Let's talk about levels of what organizations. Let's talk about the level of what organization. When we talk about organization is simply talking about what hierarchy. When we talk about organization is what hierarchy from something which is a what from the head to the neck to the body. You understand? So there's this form of hierarchy. You understand, when it comes to what organization, and this hierarchy also applies to what living what organisms. The concept of what organization applies to what living organisms, and living organisms, particularly when you are preparing for JAMB, it is very very important you take note of what I'm going to be saying if you are preparing for exam like JAMB. You understand? Take note of this, because this will be the basic examples you are going to be seeing, or the basic questions you'll be seeing. So basically, we have a four level of what organization in living organisms. The first one we have is the what we have the what the cell. So we have the cell, we have the tissues, we have the cells, we have the tissues, we have the organs, we have the cell, we have the tissues, we have the organ, and we have the what system. Although when you check in some textbooks, you are going to be seeing something like cells, tissues, organ system before what the system, right? So you'll be seeing something like the organ system before the what the system itself. But for the purpose of preparing for JAM, or as a Sunday school student, you should be contented with the fact that we have the what the cell, the tissue, the organ, and the what the system. Now when we talk about the cell, we know that the cell is the what is a very simple, basic structural and functional unit of what every living what organism. There is no life apart from the life of what cells. There is no life apart from the life of what cells. And every living organism comes from previously existing what cells. This is what we know as what the cell theory. This is what we call the what cell theory. And if you want to start discussing the cell concept in details, I believe we are going to be spending more time. Although I'll make a video about the cell theory or the cell concept as a whole, where we are going to be talking about everything on how cell came to be, what really made us to know that this is what a cell. If I'm to show you a depth, this was as a result and a breakthrough in science, in an experiment or in a research done by a certain scientist known as Robert Hooke in the year 1665. In the year 1665, a certain scientist known as what Robert Hooke gave science a breakthrough when it comes to the concept of what cell, where he was studying a piece or a thin tissue of what a cork. So when he was studying a thin tissues of cork, he found out that these cork tissues are made up of what tiny what cells, or tiny compartment. He knew that they were made up of what tiny compartment, and it is this tiny compartment coming together that gave him that word cork. And he decided to call this compartment what, or he decided to call this stuff that he discovered compartment what cells. So we believe that what tissues are made up of what cells as a result of the experiment done by what Robert what Hooke, as a result of the experiment done by Robert Hooke in 1665. And he was using a crude rudimentary microscope. What is a crude rudimentary microscope that could only magnify objects 30 times its original size. So 30 times its original size. But as science continued, another scientist came up whose name was what? Anton von Leeuwenhoek. I'm telling you stories. I don't want to tell you stories. This thing I'm doing now is like story. You understand? So let's just continue with our cell our level of what? Organization, right? So let's move ahead in our level of what? Organization. I'm coming. Let's move ahead with our level of organization. So we have talked about the cell, right? Cell is the smallest, is the simplest structure and functional unit of every living organisms. It is a coming of two cells performing the same function that gave us the concept of what? A tissue, right? So when it comes to JAMB biology, a popular example of cell that you are supposed to know is what? The euglena and the paramecium. So example of cells here, we have the what? The euglena and the paramecium. So we have the euglena and paramecium. We have the euglena and what? Paramecium as a very common example of what? Cells. We have the euglena and paramecium as a very common example of what? Cells, right? So let's move ahead. The next one is what? Tissues. And we already say that a tissue is a coming together, right? A tissue is a coming together of what? Is a coming together of two cells, right? Performing similar or same what? Functions, right? So that was what we said. A common example of tissue is what? Epithelial tissue. We have our what? Epithelial what? Tissue. We have our what? We have our epithelial tissues. We have our connective tissues. We have our nervous tissues. So we say epithelial what? Tissues and hydra. So we have epithelial tissues and the rest of them connective tissues, epithelial tissues, and what? Hydra. So these are examples of what? Tissues. We also know that the coming together of two or more tissues will give us what we call the word organ, right? Coming together of two or more tissues will give us what? Organ. Two or more tissues performing the same or similar function. That's what will give us the word organ. So example of the organ, we have our heart, right? We have our heart, a lot of organs. We have the kidney, the liver, and a popular example when it comes to biology, JAMB, so that you will not say you didn't see it, is also the onion bulb. So you see, onion bulb is also an example of what? Organ. There's the onion bulb is also an example of what? Organ. Then example of a system is what? The circulatory system. You have the circulatory system. The circulatory system is made of the heart and the what? The blood what? Vessels. Made of the heart and the what? Blood. Right? It's made of the heart and the what? The blood. So coming together of two or more organs is what is going to give us what? The system. So that is basically everything you are supposed to know when it comes to JAMB biology, variety of organisms under what? Living organisms as a first topic. I will try to see on how I can be coming online so that we can really cover up all these stuffs. You understand? So that we can see how we can really cover up all these stuffs. Hopefully enjoy ourselves and make sure we smash JAMB UTME. If you're just coming across my channel for the very first time, my name is Basi Ejogba, and in this channel I help students level up their academic game. So if you're preparing to write JAMB UTME, if you are in the university 100 level and you're looking for someone to help you smash your 100 level days, feel free to also chat me. Feel free to comment because I'm always ready. I'm always available. I also teach 100 level students. Our classes will range from biology to chemistry to physics to chemistry physics and chemistry, physics and biology. So if you are preparing to write any of these subjects, or if you are writing all of these subjects in your JAMB 2026, then this should be your go-to channel, because you'll be covering up everything that is in the syllabus, and the syllabus is the main roadmap you are supposed to follow if you are preparing for your any exam, especially when it comes to JAMB UTME. Thank you so much for watching my live stream section, because we are going to be ending it right now. Thank you so much. Feel free to drop in the comment section if you find value in this class, and if you have any question to ask, also drop it in the comment section. I will make sure I attend to you. Until I see you in my next video, always remember that you're wonderful, always remember that you're unique, and always remember that you're preceptor. I really love you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm ending the live stream.